Hello everyone, it might not be a Tuesday today, but I do have a video for you because today we're going to take a look at the mod project that came totally out of nowhere, which is of course Project Mojave. We are going to take a look at the world space, the story, but also the story of how we got here. What is Project Mojave? How is this mod project connected to both Fallout 4 New Vegas and the Capital Wasteland? Well, all of this and more, so let's roll the intro and get started. Alright, so Project Mojave. It's a brand new mod project that was started by a small group of people that also work on the Capital Wasteland mod. And just like the Capital Wasteland aims to remake the old Fallout 3 game, Project Mojave aims to recreate the old Fallout New Vegas game, or at least in a way. It's not going to be a full recreation because Project Mojave actually takes place 8 years after the events of Fallout New Vegas. It will be focused around the NCR ending, so if you played Fallout New Vegas and you chose a different ending, it might not be the best fit, but still, it's a really cool concept, and I'm glad they are working on it. But I can hear you think, why is the Capital Wasteland team working on this, and not the Fallout 4 New Vegas team? Well, that has to do with some controversy between the two teams. Basically what happened is that a team member that worked on both the Fallout 4 New Vegas team and the Capital Wasteland team, and this guy made around 90% of all the assets for the Fallout 4 New Vegas team. Then this team member got into some very heated arguments with the rest of the Fallout 4 New Vegas team, which eventually caused this team member to leave. But not only did this team member leave, he also took all of his assets with him. Now, it might seem from the way I'm telling you this story that this one team member seems to be a little bit of a dickhead, but nothing would be more untrue. This team member is the good guy in this story. The Fallout 4 New Vegas team are the ones who wronged him, bullied him, caused all of the shit that happened to this guy, so please, this team member is an absolute legend, and I can't respect him enough for what he did. But anyways, this team member left the Fallout 4 New Vegas team and took all of his stuff with him. Thank God the Capital Wasteland team was there for him, they supported him, watched his back, and eventually they came to the idea, why don't we use all of the New Vegas stuff you made ourselves? And so Project Mojave was born, or at least that's how I think it was born, because they kept this project secret all the way until they released it on the Nexus, which cannot be easy to do, so big props for doing that. There are some details which I'm leaving out on purpose because it's just really personal stuff, and I don't think it's up to me to share that because, well, that's personal. Anyways, at one point when I was in the voice chat of Fallout London, one of the developers that was working on this project joined and said that they were working on something. But we all thought that he was talking about the Point Lookout DLC that the Capital Wasteland is also working on. He said that something would be coming out upcoming Fallout Day, which would be October 23rd, and we should get ready for something big. So we thought, oh my god, that's when they're gonna release the DLC, but as shown, we couldn't have been more wrong. They spent only 4 months making this mod. Of course, the assets and all that were already done, but still, 4 months? The Fallout 4 New Vegas team has spent years on their mod already, and well, these guys did it in just 4 months, so that's absolutely amazing. And then on the 23rd, just like he said, they released this. Not the Point Lookout DLC like we thought, but Project Mojave. I was at the Fallout London meetup at the time, along with a bunch of others from the Fallout London team. We were all of us were in London, and all of us were sitting inside a bar when this went up. And well, let's just say we all grabbed our glasses of beer and said cheers to the Capital Wasteland team. So again, very well done, and it all goes without saying that this is the biggest hold my beer moment in recent modding history. So if this doesn't show the Fallout 4 New Vegas team how it's done, I don't know what would. Speaking of release, this mod is not at all finished. Right now, it is nothing more than a very small part of the Fallout New Vegas world space and a very small basic story. But it does also come with a lot of new custom stuff, weapons, outfits, consumables, creatures, and even gambling mechanics. It's just crazy that this whole thing came out of nowhere like it did. By now you have seen a good chunk of the world space, so let's talk about the details, the nitty gritty side of things, because as great as it is, there are some bits that, well, in my opinion, could be better. First off, the lighting. In a lot of interior cells the lighting looks great, but in some bits it is clearly lacking. Maybe that is because I do level design myself. Maybe it's because they're trying to make it look as close to the original as possible, which, well, isn't always a good thing in my opinion. I mean, you're creating it in a updated engine with updated graphics and all that, so why would you still want it to look old? And the same goes for something like the 10mm pistol, for example. When I was playing it, I was streaming it to the Fallout London guys, and they were all like, ooh, when they saw this pistol. But to me, it just looks old somehow. The Fallout 4 10mm pistol looks better in my opinion. Maybe it has to do with nostalgia or something, because they have all played New Vegas, but I for one haven't, so to me, it's all new. I can't say something like, that looks just like I remember it, because like I said, I've never played it. I did look at some pictures of what it used to look like back in the old New Vegas game, and yes, this version does look better, but it still doesn't look fully up to date for some reason. However, one thing I do really like is how desolate the whole place is. I mean, it's a desert. There's not much there, but when you do see something, you want to check it out. I remember playing a mod that had this gigantic city. It wasn't New York, it was some other place, but when I was walking around, there was just so much stuff everywhere that I just didn't know where to go anymore. And when there was a place I could enter, hidden among 50 others, which I couldn't, at that point I just didn't care anymore. But with this, it's completely the other way around. You see something in the distance, you want to check it out because it's the only thing that's there. A lot of people make jokes about Fallout Cascadia because of this. They say it's nothing more than trees and hills. But I am actually very curious to see, because I think it will be very similar to this in a way. It's just gonna be a forest instead of a desert. But moving on, let's talk about the story. Right now, basically there isn't any. There's a small story where you have to find a dead Institute scientist who had the schematics for a long-distance teleporter. His synth clone killed him and took the upgraded parts. Now you have to build the teleporter, teleport to the Mojave Desert, find the clone, take the parts, put the parts on the teleporter, and that's it. When you've done that, you get the ability to teleport to the strip, where you can find a bunch of hookers and casinos, and that's basically it. If you have played Fallout New Vegas in the past, I'm sure this will be enough to get your dick wet, but for me, it's just a nice little bit of exploration I can do. Don't get me wrong, I'm very much looking forward to where this mod goes, but for now, there is enough there to get me excited, but there is not enough to make me come back to the Mojave after I've already explored it. I mean, why would I? Would I go back there for the casinos? Personally, I wouldn't. The weapons look cool, even though some of them look a bit dated. The outfits on the other hand look really nice and up to date. I found a dead NCR soldier at one point, and when I saw his outfit I was like, yes, that is mine now. It was a whole lot of fun to explore, and I definitely got surprised at one point when I suddenly got attacked by a small group of raiders or something like it. The new creatures are also a nice change of pace, although you definitely can see similarities in animations and the like when you compare it to some of the Fallout 4 vanilla creatures, but that's fine because I know how hard it is to create those animations from scratch. All in all, a great mod. If you like exploring, this definitely is something you ought to try. And if you love New Vegas, like the old one, it is absolutely worth it to revisit some of those old locations that come with this mod. I for one had a lot of fun running around in the Mojave, and I think you would too. Speaking of fun, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more, and if you really want to help out the channel, then consider becoming a patron. But above all, thank you for watching. My name is Tuesday, and I will see you next time.